Hey there, Scorpio. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button, ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share. Also, leave comments down below. I'd like to know what's going on with you guys. And to those of you who've been giving donations into the channel, thank you. I would say from the bottom of my heart, but from the totality of these decks, we have 4 new decks have already made their way here, and then one that will be coming mid-month, along with the previous 3, the Moon Magic Medicine, which, by the way, shall I let you know, I know this is the moon, but they're letting us know the Earth has begun its new song. So this Pisces moon that we have coming through is the awakening of it. All right? So you were telling me that you're wanting to be free as a bird. And the thing is, I'm here to tell you, you are free as a bird. Because what I kept seeing as I was cutting and dividing the deck, I just do it when I meditate and pray for you guys, when I'm getting it prepared. The only one holding you captive is you. And there's actually no captivity. You're just tethered, holding on to this thing, feeling obligated that you need to sit there, and that's what you're supposed to do. Kind of like a lighthouse on the shore. Isn't this what we do? We help save people from trouble and issues and problems and whatever else. This is what I've relegated myself to do. And the answer is nay, no. It's time for you to live and enjoy yourself and to bring in the awakening of your golden eggs. We're going to use the Mary L on you today and find out what that is all about. So apparently that wanting to fly free, I think, is you getting a sensation, an inkling of the golden egg being there and thinking it's time. Kind of like you're calling for an Easter. You're calling for the birthing and the bringing forward. All right. So I do see you kind of inkling over here to get a divine animal oracle for Scorpio. Let's bring in some leader and guidance here. Ooh, you cooking up a storm, baby. That usually lets me know there's a bit of high pressure and low pressure. So there's a bit of a conflict and contradiction going on inside, which is no big deal. Often the contradiction is there because you're not sure which side to choose, or you're not even aware that it was old underlying energy or pre-programming from when you were born, and like rituals and routines got stuck in on your mind that you didn't even know are irrelevant to who you are now, that you're in authority and permission. Because that's the other thing I saw here in the Mary L, was the only thing holding you back was the awareness to give yourself permission to go into your flow, permission and to fit the hours and find out and discover and uncover the hours in the flow of how life works for you, for how energy comes in. It's uprising and voluminous and expansive, very much the Jupiterian part, which where you'll have luck in doing connections and getting great tasks done, creating the vision going on through that, to where you contract and you come into the Saturn and you slow down and you shut down, and maybe that's when you do editing and you do review, and then you bring it in a little bit more and you cozy and you curl up and you begin to unwind from the day. I know you would think unwinding is all out here, but really it's bringing it all on in, sheltering, coming within, and then eventually to the closing of the night. And that's when you expand out into your Neptune. You expand out into the divine of the mind and the dancing of those influences that are a little bit beyond what we can see. Okay. And Pluto is like, let me in. Don't forget the power of Pluto, because that's definitely your ruling planet. Pluto is beautiful. It is how the seed rises up from the soil. It is how we are even fed. It is through the nighttime that the plants process the sun that they have absorbed during the day, and photosynthesis occurs. Even humans, we grow, repair, and restore while we sleep. We also process and assimilate all the information. The unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious can all flow and work together. And like when you lay it down, it's almost like shaking up the cylinder, the mixture, shaking up, mixing up, so that it can begin to plasmatic state out and be very, I don't know, this is all new, y'all. I'm listening. You teach me so much. It's kind of like that amnios. It becomes this lifeblood, this life water, which would make sense of what I was seeing in here. So you're talking about like the white part of the egg, the albumin right now. So all that from your bull. I thought about doing these one card wonder readings to where it all comes forth, because really all I need to do is knock on your door, and when you open it, you let me in 1 card or 50 cards. It's all the same. So I love it. Anyways, it's bringing in, whose energy is that? That's Pisces. Okay. So there is some straight up Pisces that was talking about the justice card in one of the readings. So for some justice, a few of you might feel like you need to tune in, check out the Pisces. If that resonates with you, definitely take a look at it and do it. Either last week's reading or this week's reading, okay? And peek in there to see what they're talking about, because that will lead you into the city, into the firming of the foundation, the like when they tamp down the soil and they prepare it, the site's already been chosen, it's cleared, it's prepared, but then they begin to pack it and make it hard, because what it's going to receive is that hard foundation, that stability, and the complete connection going on there. Okay, so you want to dive next into, what are these called? My mystical moments. All right, so let's go on in here and I want 3 of these for you. Okay, I'll be gentle and easy. Here we go. Whoop, 1. There they are. Okay. You are here for a reason. She floated down, y'all. I'm a little cramped, so forgive me. Okay. My legs are so smushed into the table. I didn't even know it. Okay. So, you're again working the eyes, working the channel. Okay, we'll go ahead and put you up there. Fine, fine. I was wondering where you're going to get an angelarium. But this house of flowers, that foundation, okay, they're saying, hey, Joy, you missed a point. The foundation is in your mind. Okay? So where we often have the ground firm under our roots and under our feet, this is talking about a firm foundation of your mind, so that the roof can be laid, so that your protection, your governance of yourself, that permission that we're talking about, so you can be sealed up. And then after that happens, that's when all the fun stuff starts to happen. That's when they start doing the walls, plastering, sheetrock, that sort of thing. So when the sconces go up and the windows get fitted in, and then you begin to furnish it, paint it and furnish it, right? So you're turning that tide on that, and you're completing this formation of self, all right? So, okay, I will look at you because you are already here. Rinth, angel of time. Do you see yourself positioned up on a high peak there? Of course, you'd have to be able to look down over it as the construction is going on, as it is moving about, because it's like you're checking the alignment. It's almost like your roof is already made, and it's just being like a crane. It's being hoisted and landed on top of your roof, and you're up here kind of like guiding the crane, and you're the director, all right, like air traffic controller type person going on to make sure everything gets in place. I want to know a little bit more about that, because I see some dipper energy going on. You've been very focused for quite some time now. What's wild? Wow, you're inside. You're at the center. Okay, so when this roof goes on, is what you're letting me know here, is when the eye of God, when you've made a full circuit around your whole wheel. And that doesn't mean a year, y'all, because of the zodiac. You're talking about time. You know, days, months, years, decades. It's irrelevant, but the cycle's been complete, and you now see yourself whole, and you've begun to tune those strings, and you've begun to play and to measure and to move through those strings, to begin to let your soul song rise up, to be able to I say manipulate yourself, but the one who plays the instrument, you're moving the strings. To move is to manipulate. The fingers are called mani, okay? You're manipulating them and moving them around. And you're beginning to turn these ancient sundials, okay, so this is stemming from Lion's Gate. You took Sirius very seriously. Let's just say that, okay? You took Sirius very seriously, and that's where all the wealth is coming in from to complete this project here. But I love it. The old-fashioned roses coming forth from there is amazing, and their beauty and their fragrance. It's going to be beautiful because it is complete, whole, and naturally you. I feel you in there. Thank you. I knew you were here. Okay, so defense, beneficial delay, stay neutral. That's what's highlighting here. Stay neutral. decide, be clear, right action. And that's why you're saying, hey, Joy, pull our angelarium, because you're down here. We're about to find out about you here, right? And you're keeping your head about this as this is being laid, and you're allowing your angels and guides to bring this in and over on you, because it's not only your protection, your sheltering of it, of like creating that place that you can go into your Saturnian contraction and go in and rest and expand out into your Neptune, all those other fantastic planets like Pluto. Yes, thank you. But when that goes on, it's also your provision, because it's your hat, it's your authority, it is your rank. It is finally like the culmination and the activation of you being able to express yourself in your full wisdom. Okay? It's not like wisdom comes like that. No, wisdom is what you've been forming all the way throughout life, but what happens is it's like you've been in an apprenticeship. There's been an authority over you for a set period of time for the reasons that, y'all, I won't even get into it in this ring. They're beyond us, okay? They're there for a reason. We decided before we came. Que sera. There it goes. And so here we are in alignment. And so we've been under this master and this mastery and being mastered so that we can learn everything of where we came from, right? The generations that we came through, the teachings that we came up under, the first whole like procession of our natal chart, of the full completion of so many of the actions going on there, to where when that is removed and you now stand here, you had to do things that way for a while, and now it comes about of like the partnership, like co-equal, co-creator, right? And life leans in and says, what do you want to do? How would you like it to look? Almost like, what shape roof would you like to have on your home? What kind of provision suits you? What are your dreams? What awakens you? What makes you feel beautiful? And beauty, remember, is integrity, being the same on the inside as the outside. Tell me about yourself. Show me how you do this. What is your expression? What is your freedom? What is your flow? Because remember, the bird, you're free. You just let go of that old anchor, that old tether, because it was Lorelei who was showing up in here, and she's stuck on the shore thinking that it's time to tend to everybody else's business, not being a busybody, but having to be there as a point of service, of having to do that. And that's kind of a form of submission. And now that's come out of the way, and this is moving forward. I mean, look at that. And pretty swiftly to stir up a cloud of dust, I tell you. But see, that head, that foundation of your head, your mind, is immovable. It is there and it is firm. You know who you are and you know what you like. And it was almost the toughest part, to submit, to fall completely in line, because you're like, I'm well equipped. I'm wise. I'm old and well beyond my years. Let me lead. And it's like, no. So you kept getting in line, And then finally it was just like this. And now it's going, hello. It's time. Ring the bell. And here comes in, let me get his name again, Rimph. Rimph comes in to say, all right, we're positioned, we're ready to go. Like that mind is burning so full and percolating of ideas. And remember to stay neutral, okay, and be clear. So we're going to be clear about what? About blooming. Your refinery, your beauty, your skill. You have amazing skill, and it's very natural. So the thing is, things can be refined, they can be beautiful, but it can be things that echo the sounds of nature. Nature comes into your creation. It's very aesthetic is the best way to explain what's going on here. But imaginative at the same time, because it's inspirational. It's music to our ears, right? So it has to do with harmonies and rhythms, both visually, auditorily. Things sound good, they look good, they feel good, they smell good. They come together through sensuality. And you're like, that's what we're on earth for, is true pleasure. Talk about a divine dance there. And that's the number 5. To me, 5 is about manifesting and creating. It's called the power is in your hands. Because when we have that thumb, it's how we're able to take hold of things, because we can oppose it, right? And that's part of what that mastery, that falling in line is like, I know what to do. And it's like, no, you got to come around, come behind. And now you know why. Because it's so easy for you to take hold of, right? But just let go of the Lorelei. Let go of the... I already see you. Hang on. Why are y'all doing this? Why are you doing this? Because defense did that as well. Staying neutral. Okay, well, it would make sense because this is an energetic charge, just like a lightning bolt, right? So it comes, the energy comes from the sky, opens up the space, and then it draws the electricity up from the ground. Well, it was laying down sideways, which makes sense because under the bloom, the hermit comes in sideways. It's about being able to take a rest from that time. So just like a timer, some timers you stop it by laying it down outside, okay? Because if this is the cycles of time and it's an hourglass, the way you stop it is to lay it down. So they're saying when you go to lay down at sleep at night, it's a reset, but not like a total reset in the sense that you don't forget everything that you ever did and you start over at age 0, right? You pick up where you left off, but now you're recharged and you're refreshed, and certain ideas have percolated and assimilated through the consciousness, unconsciousness, subconsciousness of the mind, right? Through that Neptunian energy, which, they're funny. They're saying which helps tune your strings, those magical strings while you sleep, right? Interesting. So that then there's just a few more days that they're talking about, okay, because that Pisces moon coming in, hello, forest for the trees. Y'all, thank you for bearing with me. Okay, because that Pisces moon coming in, the firm foundation, the laying down a couple more nights sleep, and then you're going to rise up as the master. You're going to rise up, and that thing that you felt is going to have moved out of the way and be walking alongside you, not because it was better or knew better, but to create the temperance in you that you needed, the process, to not just be aware of who and what you are, but how you do it and how you would do it. Often, that's why you were talking about that editing process. That makes perfect sense. Because when somebody else is doing it in your mind, you can go ahead and edit, refine, go, well, I'd actually leave that one step out, or that's one step too many, or I'd put this one before that. There's so much of that refining that goes on when you're having to submit as an apprentice under the authority of the master. And that's about to be laid down, y'all. This hermit's going to be like taking a snooze, laying down here. I see why. So we're going to step in this one next. We're going to look at the 7 of Wands. Talk about perfect power. Look at the green in your eyes. This is the white wolf. This is, to me, when Chiron is healed. Chiron, had to stay as a teacher going about forever. This is you getting to come forth as a liver and a lover. You're going to live from your passion. And that is what was able. See your mind here? See your mind? All ablaze, but not out of control. It's illuminating and even glowing up the mountainsides all around you in purity and delight. It's illuminating the clouds in your dreams and your imagination and helping guide you through it to discover even more than you could have or would have otherwise. And they're saying if you hadn't had that temperance, you would have squandered it, pilfered it, plundered it all on your own. So this time of restraint, this time of refinement, remember? Refining, finding out who you are and how you would go about things has actually made life very inexpensive in a sense, because mistakes, acting out, learning through that, it can be quite costly. But in this case, whatever it was in your life, you had to come along and apprentice, right? And so you could learn without bearing the brunt of the failure and the falling by being able to see it so much more clearly in your mind, thus developing the growth of the imagination. Now, I wrote it down in somebody's reading last week. It was another eye. I'm like, okay, Scorpio, we have the eye of imagination, and that's what exists up here above us, okay? Hopefully that is not on the screen with you guys. I have something in the way, but it's up here, up above us. So we have the imagination and the intelligence coming together to what? For one, we know for you to live and to love, because your heart's all healed. You're a white wolf now. This is a trusted companion. This is a trusted spirit guide here. All right, won't lead you wrong, and I love it because this is what's in your eyes. Look at the power of that provision. So this is the provision, the protection of that roof. I didn't know the roof, the firm foundation that was on your head. It was in your head. It is your eyeballs. Look at that. Ancient wisdom coming into the divine light of the presence. And this is what's wild. Yes, they said presence, not present. The space coming in. Remember, the master now is coming alongside you to create that yoke, to be able to harness and bring forward with such massive power and ability, thus the bull, right? Okay, so here, that's very chironic in this Two of Pentacles that comes about, and that's interesting that I was talking about Chiron here, because this is very much a Chiron card for me, all right? Because for me, the cobbler's kids should have shoes. The healer should be whole, okay? We should have what it is we are here to give and to share. It should be so our truth, not just our reality of what comes out of us, but our truth of what is in us, indwelling, abiding with us. Like, you don't even have to say a word. Your lips are sealed, right? Because your truth is so vibrating, so beautiful. Look at this. That's like your throat. It's blossoming out and it's enticing, because I tell you, when a flower's all blossoming like that, it is attractive to the pollinators. And you're like, that's that provision you were talking about, Joy. Thank you. Tell us more. Well, that steps us into, I was talking about it. I was talking about the Pisces being right here, remember? And that was about the Justice card, and here it is. Here it is, the pen, the editor. So you go from being the master's editor, of course, silently, quietly up in your mind's eye, right? You've been deciding and knowing who you are and refining. Of course, the master very well knows, because that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it actually is. But developing that temperance, that process, that self-control, which is the ultimate justice, because then you get to see what you say. And remember, your lips are sealed. This is about what you know. You're saying your imagination, your intelligence, and your intuition, all the different eyes, your inspiration as well. That's another eye that you popped on in here. Your inspiration, all of it merging together, all the way down to your intimacy and your I am. So thus the amnios that you were talking about at the beginning of the reading. You're talking about holding your own heart, treasuring yourself dear. And it's funny because this is taking a little notch and a piggyback off right where Libra left off, about being your own vaccine. You are the anti-venom to the venom, because that self-control about killed you. Well, it did several times. And that's why you finally became healed. You die to self, die to self, die to self. And you're like, I want to get up here and do this. And you're like, I'll step over my own dead body. I'm going to keep my mouth shut if I know it's good for me, if I know it's good for me. Because part of what happens when we learn to keep our mouth shut, we build up a tremendous amount of power. Now, I know at first it felt like pressure, and that's why you died and died and died, because you exploded, right, like a bomb. And they're going, no. It's not supposed to build up that pressure. It's supposed to build up power, because it's supposed to move all the way down to the earth and all the way back up. So isn't that fantastic that you create this reading once you've told me about all the eyes, all right? So if you'd like a quick rundown, I'll do it right this second. So up above us, we have our the power of imagination. Then we have our intellect flexing through here. Then we have our inspiration, okay? Our intuition. We have our instinct. We have our intimacy. And then we have our I amness. Hopefully that was everything. Let's see. So with all that, then you step into the divine rose garden, the return to self. Look at it. And you come back with more than just who you are. You come back with magic. You come back without any baggage. You're set free from all the things that could hinder you, encumber you, and weigh you down. Because remember, it could have been expensive stepping out there in that power of the spark, the catalyst, that instinct, and then failing and faltering. Not that failure is a bad thing. It's just very expensive and time consuming. Remember, Saturn was wanting to contract to bring you all the way in, and also to teach you to expand through Jupiter. And that is what has to do with the scales of the justice of self-control and bringing you into the fullness of the process, through the fullness of breath, through the fullness of the day in existence, right? Of how to green up and how to grow. And in that, it brings in this whole new kingdom into your kingdom, the pollinators. Because remember, I said it would be quite attractive. Well, that's what we have here. We have the pollinator. Okay? Now, butterflies are pollinators of beauty. They're not pollinators of necessity. They're here to take in the sweet drink of life, because my name, Melissa Joy, it means the sweet nectar of life. And so the butterfly comes along just pleasing itself and teasing itself like, ooh, what's over here? Get a little drink. Ooh, what's over here? Let me see what's all in there and in there and in there and in there and there. And then they fly off. They are their home. They are their decoration. They are the windows and the walls and the roof, that firm foundation of your imagination coming in to be able to produce in such abundant green harmony. I love how synergized this reading is, because it's all these browns and greens and pinks and blues. It's just about the whole heaven and earth, the mingling of it all, heaven here on earth, and it's all in divine order. I absolutely love that. I hope you do too, Scorpio. Get ready for your divine self. I love it. Talk to you soon. Bye.